Championship boxing making its return to the beautiful Peel region. You are looking outside of the Hershey Center in Mississauga, Ontario, as championship boxing makes a return to Channel 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our main event of the evening.
Looking inside of the Hershey Center, spectators finding their seats for a great evening ahead on Rogers TV. Rogers TV, Kyle Alberto, Michelle Storino. We're going to be bringing you through the entire card all evening long. It's going to be an exciting card, one of the most anticipated outside of the Peel region and inside the Peel region. We're going to start with our main event, and this has been touted, Michelle, as the Battle of Ontario. Since the inception of United Boxing Promotion in 2010, they have not been shy on the rising stars here in the beautiful province of Ontario. Obviously, one that comes to mind, Denton Daly, but how about the one featured tonight? Ryan Young putting his undefeated record on the line against Ryan Wagner of Orangeville, Ontario. This is going to be a very intriguing fight.
Well, it's also called the Battle of the Ryans, I guess, right? Well, we all know Ryan Wagner. I mean, he's no slouch either. He's 6'3". He's going to come into this battle hard. You know, he's going to go pound for pound, punch for punch. Both of these guys hit very, very hard. And we know Ryan Young, he's a crowd pleaser because of the way he fights. He's always moving, very, very active. His footwork phenomenal, head movement phenomenal. He's 9-0, 7 of them via knockout. So you know this one has fireworks written all over it.
And if you didn't have the opportunity to attend the weigh-in, it was something special. Both faces right in each other. I'll tell you right now, this is going to be a very exciting fight. These two young men do not like each other at all. Let's move now to our co-main event. Cody Crawley, a Canadian fighter, moving down south to train full-time. A huge advantage for him with anybody that he meets inside of the squared circle. A critical advantage coming into this fight tonight.
Absolutely. You know, we just talked about the two Ryans, and they both have jobs outside of the ring. Well, Cody Crawley, he doesn't. Full-time, all boxing, and he's only 23. I love the fact that this card features a lot of up-and-comers in Canadian boxing. Cody Crawley, he's one of those guys, a southpaw. He's facing another southpaw as well. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting as well because he's going to be facing someone with actually a winning record. He's faced, I guess you could say, guys that haven't been up to snuff for his capabilities. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like to see two southpaws with similar records go toe-to-toe.
Let's talk about now maybe the most exciting fight on this card. A lot of people looking forward to seeing Ryan Young again, but a lot of people are looking forward to seeing the return of Luis Valdivia. This is a young man from Brampton, Ontario, making his professional debut in his home country of Canada, and no better than doing it in the Peel region where he is from. This is a young man, very motivated. His coach, John Melich, had the opportunity to say that this young man is very passionate, very dedicated, and that will get him through many fights, including this one tonight against Jesus Ortega of Mexico.
Well, it's going to be very interesting because, as you mentioned, it's the first fight for him on home soil in front of a very large crowd here at the Hershey Center. His 3 previous professional bouts have been in the Dominican Republic and then down south in Michigan in the United States. So it'll be interesting to see what he's going to be like with family and friends in front of him, a large crowd. And like you said, he's had 3 years off. He hasn't exactly had a lot of contenders here in Canada want to face him because he is so lethal, he is so fast. So we get a treat tonight seeing him right here at the Hershey Center.
It is an electric atmosphere inside of the Hershey Center. We're going to bring you all the action from championship boxing here from United Promotions at the Hershey Center in beautiful Mississauga, Ontario. Kyle Alberto, Michelle Storino. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back to Championship Boxing on Rogers TV. Kyle Alberto, Michelle Storino bringing you all the action tonight. We got a full-blown card on here this evening. Look at this tasty matchup we got going on right now. Steve Rainford, Winston Matthews, the London, Ontario versus Brantford, Ontario native. One of the more intriguing fights of this card. Just so many great fights on this card, Michelle. I mean, where do we begin?
Absolutely, and you know, we're used to seeing Steve Rainford here at the Hershey Center as well. We saw him just a few months ago, back in May, in this very building. Unfortunately, it was a TKO loss to Ari Cox, and he's fought Ari Cox twice, unfortunately lost twice. That was the rematch last time around. He's 1-3-0. His only win, though, coming via knockout, so you know he does have some power, even though his last 3 fights haven't exactly gone his way.
This fight is in the super welterweight 145 division. As we await the entrance of Winston Matthews, good luck here at Steve Rainford.
You know, niggas probably should have been taking this rap a little bit more serious. But when you get money in the streets for real, it's kind of hard to stop and go to the booth. You know, when that paper steady calling you all day, you kind of get sidetracked on this shit. You know what I'm saying? And only the real niggas that was getting real money in the streets will understand what I'm saying. You know, a lot of times these rappers, they just be talking shit they see.
And there is Winston Matthews of Brantford, Ontario. So many great Ontario talents on this card this evening, Michelle. This is a big night for this promotion, and the fighters know it as well. This is such a critical matchup to really shape up the super welterweight division of 145. We've seen Steve Rainford a lot here on Rogers TV through the years, but I'll tell you right now, Winston Matthews really looking focused tonight for this matchup. A critical tilt in the super welterweight division, as we mentioned.
Well, sports is also entertainment, and definitely boxing is one of those sports. Winston Matthews playing to the crowd right now. He's definitely got an intense look on his face, and I almost feel like we're at a concert.
It's got a little bit of that feel,
yeah,
absolutely.
No, it's awesome.
So looking at the numbers here, the 5'9", 165-pound Winston Matthews taking on 169.2 pounds of Steen Rainford. This is just the second pro fight of Winston Matthews. Again, looking to spoil the party for the wily veteran of United Boxing Promotions, Steve Rainford.
Matthews with that 1-0-0 record. They call him the Punisher. That only win happened back in May as well. So both of these fighters having the same amount of rest, coming into the same amount of, or time in training camp rather. And the win came via knockout in BC versus Dia Grant. So you know he's riding high, the emotions riding very high for Matthews coming into this one, especially being in his home province of Ontario, getting to fight for the first time in front of family and friends and wanting to keep that perfect record going in his young boxing career.
A great fight that we saw from Steve Rainford a little over a year ago inside of this building against another man that is on this card, Ori Cox. That was a very, very intriguing fight. Ori Cox is somebody that we really haven't talked about a whole lot, but we're going to be seeing him later on this evening.
Absolutely, and I think we're ready to go here for this matchup.
Ladies and gentlemen, Presler Law Firm 401, Dixie Hyundai, Cambridge Hyundai, Save Max, and Phillips Moving proudly present this 4-round tilt in the super middleweight division. Your judges for this bout, Dr. Marvin Sazant, Mr. Harry Davis, and Mr. Alan Davis. When the bell sounds, the third man in the ring, your referee, Mr. Donovan Boucher. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trimmed with white. He has one pro victory in 4 bouts, a win that came via knockout. From London, Ontario, weighing in at 169.2 pounds, Steve Renegade Rainford. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing all black. He was victorious in his lone pro bout thus far, a win that came via knockout. From Brantford, Ontario, weighing in at 165.1 pounds, Winston the Punisher Matthews.
Fighters. Okay, gentlemen, I gave you pre-fight instructions in the changing room. All I want from you is to listen to my comment at all times. Most importantly, protect yourself at all times. Anything over here is good. Everything over here is good. Anything below here, no good. So just keep it a good, clean fight. All right, guys? Good luck to both of you.
Just moments away from our opening bout here on the Rogers television broadcast. It is Winston Matthews taking on Steve Rainford, coming into this bout with a 1-3 record. His lone victory came against Mikel Marcello Verdesia. And here we go, we are underway. Jab there from Matthews, looking to
just let me know.
create a little bit of space here early on.
Always is an intriguing matchup when it's Southpaw Matthews versus the orthodox fighter in Rainford as well, because the power is obviously coming from the other side.
This is Rainford's third bout here inside of the Hershey Center in his professional career. Previously taking 2 losses to Ari Cox.
Yeah, first one was a unanimous decision win for Ori. He didn't feel that it went to his advantage, so he wanted that rematch, in which he got just a few months ago in May, and Ori did well, I guess, on beating him a second time. Unfortunately, via TKO early in that fight.
Great movement early on from both fighters. A lot of confidence you can see inside of the squared circle. Body shots there from Rainford. Big connection there with the left from Matthews.
Matthews looking for that uppercut early, as he's seeing Rainford kind of jump in, almost lunge in at him, so he wants to take advantage on that movement forward and trying to sneak in that uppercut.
Well, they call him the Punisher. Winston Matthews has some sneaky knockout power. I think Rainford very well aware of coming into this bout. Big shot to the chin of Steve Rainford.
Matthews is either a little gun shy with the left hand, which is his power being a southpaw, or he's just goading in Rainford, seeing that he's coming forward very aggressively and kind of holding back, waiting for that perfect opportunity to either land that powerful uppercut or that straight left, which he just did right there.
That'll end the first round here between Matthews and Rainford.
You know, it's really tough, Kyle, in such a short fight. You know, that was a feeling out kind of a first round. Rainford did majority of the work. He was the busier fighter, but, you know, Matthews definitely landing the more significant shots. So, you know, when it comes to a 4-round fight, it's kind of tough to, you know, you gotta kind of let it go early and often as much as you can, but it's hard to because you don't know your opponent yet, right? Like, you don't, so it's very hard in there in terms of mindset of these fighters.
Exciting round to start. Michelle, how would you score that opening round?
That's tough. That's a tough first round. I think I would have given it to Rainford, though, only because he was the busier fighter.
I think we're both on the same page as both fighters getting set for second round action. Here we go, second round here. Underway in our opening bout on Rogers. Yeah, this is championship boxing live from the Hershey Center in beautiful Mississauga, Ontario. This venue has been a staple for the United Boxing promotion. It's had a lot of success over the years. And tonight being no different, a pretty jam-packed building tonight. Taking in a great card, of course, with our main event once again, Ryan Young defending his 9-0 undefeated record. Cannot wait to have the Oakville, Ontario native out here later on. A little more aggressive we're seeing here from Matthews, leaving his chin pretty open there, though.
Rainford started out the round, with a few overhands because he was finding that the left hand of Matthews was a little bit low. It is still a little bit low.
Seeing Rainford doing a good job of switching up his height, low, high, high, low. Quick bear hug there from Rainford, looking to maybe get a quick second to recompose. As the action looks to pick up in this second round. Nice jab there from Rainford. Responding with a left, back over to the right. Matthews really exposing that chin early on. Having a hard time keeping his hands up.
Well, yeah, and one thing I would like to see from Rainford is just to keep that pressure on. So he's getting Matthews to back up with these, 2 or 3 shots, and he is landing, and Matthews is going straight back, which is not a good recipe if you're a boxer. You definitely want to use your angles, use your footwork. Going straight back is a no-no. I'd like to see Rainford just keep going forward. If he's giving you that lane, if he's giving you that, you got to keep doing it.
Big left there for Matthews.
Matthews looking very gun shy throughout these first 2 rounds. You could hear his corner actually urging him on. Get in there, get in there. It's because he's always reacting to what's happening to him instead of making the action happen, right? He's letting it all happen to him and responding and counter-punching. And that's not gonna win you a 4-round fight. You're not Floyd Mayweather either, right? Not a lot of guys can be the best counter puncher like Floyd Mayweather is and win fights like he does. That exceptional defense, footwork, and of course head movement. I would also give this round to Rainford only because once again he's the busier fighter. He's pushing the pace, and he's also controlling the ring, which is something else that the judges look for.
We get our 3rd round underway here. Rainford early on seems to be really lunging in with his right side, maybe trying to bring Matthews into some really, I guess you could say an unfortunate circumstance for him coming in and really dominating with his right side, because that's a strong suit. That right side is
the power.
Is big for Rainford for sure.
There we go. Matthews opening up now.
Huge combination there from Matthews. Starting to come into form here in the second half of this bout.
Perhaps it's a little bit of nerves for Matthews. As we mentioned, this is just his 2nd pro fight. First in front of family and friends. You heard upon his entrance how many people are here to see him fight.
He got a roaring response as he came through the curtains there of the Hershey Center.
He had an exceptional walk to the ring.
It was something.
Right? He's got a lot to live up to, so perhaps nerves really weighed him down those first 2 rounds, and he's finally, letting loose, letting them go, letting them fly. That left hand especially.
Something that really stands out, though, is the footwork of Matthews tonight. Very light on his feet, moving around extremely well. Good job. Excellent combination there, though, from Rainford. Great uppercut with the left of Matthews. Quick jab with the right, and to set up the left there. Big, thunderous shot there from Rainford. Put a lot of weight behind that left hook. Quick separation there. They're going to get right back at it. Rainford toying with Matthews a little bit. They're going to bring him in. Minimize the separation.
Rainford's being very successful with those punches straight down the pipe because Matthews is trying to throw that left hook, and he's missed about 3 times in this round alone. And Rainford with a really good response with a right straight down the pipe. Swing and a miss right there. End of the 3rd round now. Even though he missed a lot of punches, especially the left hook, Kyle, I'm going to give that round to Matthews just because he was the more aggressive fighter. He did control the ring. He did land some pretty significant shots as well, even though Rainford had 2 pretty powerful straight right hands.
As we get a look at some highlights there. That 3rd round, throwing with some serious passion there, Winston Matthews, and some serious power.
What do they say, right? Throwing with bad intent, right? You can see the intent behind those punches. Now, you know, if you're new to the sport of boxing and you're wondering what it's like to be in this kind of a situation, or, you know, what to look for, listen, folks, when you swing and you miss, and it's, you know, with those bad intentions, that is very tiring as well.
As you can see, the mutual respect there between both Matthews and Rainford as we get this 4th and final round underway. Both these fighters fighting with 4 3-minute rounds. Big shot there from Rainford. Quick stumble from Matthews. Rainford looking to be coming into form in this 2nd half of the fight, but then Matthews with a huge response. Kyle Alberto, Michelle Storino ringside here at the Hershey Center for United Boxing Promotions Championship Boxing on Channel 10. We're also live on YouTube, folks, so make sure you check us out over on YouTube.com, over at our Rogers TV YouTube channel. Once again, Matthews in full attack mode right now. Maybe realizing that he's playing from behind at this point, losing the fight.
Definitely. Rainford's just got to basically push the pace for the next minute, and I would say this would be a UD win for him.
Big left. Matthews going to set that left up once again. Going to read that a mile away. You can see the sweat, the perspiration just falling off of both these fighters. A big left there from Matthews. Final seconds of the fight. We're gonna make a lasting impression with the judges. Big shot to the face of Rainford. Wow, what an opening bout here on Channel 10. I don't know which way to lean.
It's a tough one to call. I would give that one to Rainford, however, though, because he did push the pace for a majority of that fight. And it's, you know what? It's so tough when you have just a 4-round fight.
at the highlights of that round. Look at that.
That's probably the best shot, cleanest shot landed by Matthews in the entire fight. And, you know, it's also, you know, a little disappointing, I guess you could say, because, you know, you wanted to see him follow that up. He had a lot of just singular shots. So he was either swinging and missing with those, you know, looping left hands and those hooks, or he was connecting like we just saw right there in the highlight. But you should follow up on that, right? So you have him rocked, you have him looking in the other direction, whatever the case may be, you need to follow that up with a couple more punches and keep the pressure on your opponent.
Great outing tonight from the southpaw in Winston Matthews. Steve Rainford looking to win his very first professional bout inside of this arena, the Hershey Center, as we mentioned earlier, 0-2 inside of this building. Well, you heard it right here, Michelle Storino giving the bout to Steve Rainford.
Now, come on, don't put that kind of pressure on me, Kyle.
We're just stating facts.
We've got a couple more bouts on this card, a lot more coming up here.
As we have handshakes and pleasantries, about to get the official decision from the very own Patrick Lono.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds, we go to the scorecards. All 3 judges scored the bout 38-38. We have a draw.
Wow. So the decision is a draw. So the first win inside of the Hershey Center is going to have to wait at least one more fight for Steve Rainford. We are both shocked.
Wow. I mean, you could hear the boos inside the Hershey Center, but sometimes that's just how it goes. When you leave it to the judges, people see things differently, obviously, right? So from my estimation, they saw Rainford winning the first 2 rounds as Matthews was kind of warming up, and then Matthews landing the more significant shots, being the more aggressive fighter, as we're seeing here on tape right now. So the judges thinking that he took the final 2 rounds, and that's how you get your draw in a 4-round fight. And, you know, that just goes back to, you know, the point I've been trying to push the entire time is when you have a 4-round fight, you can't sit back. There can't be a very long feeling out process, so to speak. It's got to be, you know, your first minute and a half of your first round.
Once again, we want to welcome everybody into Championship Boxing on Rogers TV. Michelle Storino, Kyle Alberto bringing you all the action tonight. Interesting opening tilt there between Steve Rainford and Winston Matthews, but we're going to tee up our next bout of the evening. Luis Valdivia and Jesus Ortega. Michelle, it's been a long road for Luis Valdivia, but after 3 long years, he makes his return to the squared circle inside of his home region, the Peel region, here at the Hershey Center in Mississauga, Ontario.
I started boxing because there was no fights coming in. No one wants to fight me. It was just the way I hit, the way I moved in, the way I was taught to box. I was very inside, very strong.
It was very difficult for him to get a fight. Like nobody in the province or in the country is really stepping up there to the plate because he's a very even strong individual. He's a good boxer, and he brings a lot there to the table.
I missed it.
Yeah.
It's just something you can't get away from it. Honestly, it's just the getting inside the ring. It doesn't even need to be a fight. It could be sparring, and I'm enjoying it.
I've been training Lewis since he was 16 years old. At the age of 17, he won a national championship,
John Malik is my one coach. I have other mentors, but it's basically just John all the time. Did you run? Take your vitamins? Did you do all this? Have you been eating your protein?
Train hard, fight easy. That's the name of the game. Lewis has got so much heart. He just doesn't give up. He just keeps coming. Like, he doesn't stop, you know, until the job's done. You know, if you're watching Lewis, like, don't blink, because he can knock out somebody at any time. I know that he will be champion of the world.
I want to go as far as I can. No, non-stop.
After the break, Luis Valdivia will be in action, and also later on tonight, it is Ryan Young taking on Ryan Wagner. You are watching Championship Boxing on Rogers TV. Stay tuned, everybody.
$163.3. $165.
Face the cameras.
154.9.
Welcome back to Championship Boxing on Rogers TV. Kyle Alberto, Michelle Starino getting you set for a matchup in the middleweight division, 160 pounds, 4 rounds tonight. It is Jesus Ortega and the man that we are waiting to come out in front of this electric Peel region crowd. It is the Brampton, Ontario native, Luis Valdivia. Valdivia coming back after 3 long years. He is excited to make his return to the sport of boxing, and he might have his hands full. Jesus Ortega coming into this bout with a 10-fight win streak. 9 of his 14 wins on his career have come via the knockout. This is going to be a very, very juicy matchup.
Well, and you could see right off the bat in that tail of the tape and in the fact that Ortega is a much bigger, taller fighter. So he's going to want to keep Valdivia to the outside. You saw a little bit earlier, too, how quick he is. That's something that, you know, we're definitely going to keep our eyes on in this matchup. He wants to get to the inside, utilize the power that he has, and I can imagine just lethal body shots coming from Luis Valdivia.
One of the feel-good stories on this card, Luis Valdivia has fought professionally in the Dominican Republic, the United States, but has yet to make it here in Canada. And no better to make your professional debut in the Great White North than here in your home region of Peel. Bouncing around, ready to go, excited for this matchup. As we are now ready for the introductions, we'll throw it now over to Patrick Lono.
Ladies and gentlemen, Presler Law Firm 401, Dixie Hyundai, Cambridge Hyundai, Save Max, and Phillips Moving proudly present our next bout of the evening, 4 rounds in the super middleweight division. Your judges for this bout are Dr. Marvin Sazant, Mr. Jeremy Hayes, and Mr. Alan Davis. When the bell sounds, your referee is Mr. Dave Dunbar. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing green, white, and red, his pro record, 2 wins, 2 defeats. From Torreon, Coahuila, Mexico, weighing 165 pounds, Jesus Chuy Ortega. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing green and black. He is undefeated as a professional. 3 wins, no defeats, with 1 win coming by way of knockout. From Brampton, Ontario, weighing 163.3 pounds, Luis the Beast Valdivia.
Gentlemen, we went through the rules in the dressing room. I would like a good, clean fight. Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands at all times. We went through the rules. Above here is a good blow. Above here is a good blow. Any questions? Red corner? Blue corner? Touch gloves now, gentlemen. Come out at the bell. Good luck to you both.
Just moments away from this bout. Valdivia in the bright green and black shorts. On the other side, it is Jesus Ortega. The all-Mexican trunks here as we are underway on our second bout on Rogers TV. Putting the pressure immediately on Ortega is Valdivia. Obviously looking to make an impact early on here in Peel.
Well, and he's looking to get on the inside too. Obviously, the longer, leaner, having a larger reach is Ortega. When you're a smaller fighter, that's what you need to do. You have to get in on the inside. A little bit of dirty boxing. Ortega seems pretty smart as well too. He knows that Valdivia is gonna be ducking in, kind of barreling in. So he went for that uppercut early on just to kind of keep him at bay. Let him know that he knows what he's up to. Couple short left hooks too from Ortega.
As you saw in that feature, we had the opportunity to bring our cameras inside the training camp of Valdivia. This is a workhorse. This is a man with some deadly combinations. As you can see early on, closing up the gaps extremely well. The more room you give Ortega, the more opportunities he could showcase some of that knockout power. Big left there to the body of Ortega. Valdivia certainly knows going in and minimizing that space. Protection is at an all-time high, doing a great job of it. The great combination of offense, defense, being shown by the Brampton native.
Valdivia working the body early too as well to hopefully drop his opponent's hands, and then going in for, we saw earlier too as well, some overhands, which is usually what happens with a smaller fighter versus a larger fighter. But you got to get those hands down first, right?
Absolutely.
He was even doing the same thing by teeing him up with the uppercuts as well. You want to pop that head up.
Head movement spot on right now from Valdivia. We'll take a couple of big shots there, keeping the hands up.
The adrenaline is definitely flowing. I want to see him keep up the same pace throughout the remainder of the rounds as well. That's one thing that's definitely underrated.
Well, it's certainly infectious. Obviously, everybody inside of his mill on the edge of their seat for this contest.
Well, the thing is about adrenaline, that adrenaline rush, it also, there was an adrenaline dump afterwards as well, right? So, you know, think about it. This is Valdivia's first fight in 3 years. You know, he's never fought in Canada before. His previous 3 fights where he has that perfect 3-0-0 record, a really nice straight right down the pipe, and see how he went with that left uppercut, hoping to pop up the head, and that's what he did again. He followed up with another uppercut to make sure his opponent's hands are down while the head's getting popped up, right? So he can kind of finish and follow up, which you saw there. Something that he was doing quite well was following up on his punches, right? But back to that whole adrenaline issue. You know, think about his position. He hasn't fought in 3 years. No one in Canada wants to fight this young man. He's a former Canadian champion, so he's got a long layoff. He's never fought in Canada. There are a lot of emotions and adrenaline running right now. So let's see if he can sustain all that kind of energy and pressure throughout these remaining rounds.
Second round underway here. It is Jesus Ortega out of Mexico. And the hometown boy, Luis Valdivia. The Brampton native. A couple of big shots there from Ortega, but again, nothing clean to the way of Valdivia. An exceptional head movement. So quick is Valdivia right now.
Yeah, Ortega's doing a good job here, you know, first of all, keeping his distance, picking his shots, and, you know, using pretty decent angles here. Yeah, he's being exceptionally smart, and he's making sure that, you know, like, Valdivia is not going to be getting the punches and the looks that he wants.
Being down at ringside, you know, it's such an appreciation on how fit you have to be a boxer. Cardio, conditioning, obviously the heavy breathing from both these young men and all the other boxers that we've seen tonight. It is such a critical aspect of the sport, Michelle.
Valdivia with beautiful shots there. He had a tiny little, like a sneaky hook over the top, and then he followed that up with 2 straight punches down the pipe. And you could tell he's here. He's a brawler. He loves fighting. You heard it in the story as well.
He loves fighting.
Yeah, he just loves it.
Yeah,
he's a
no,
brawler.
absolutely. You can see it, the passion inside of that ring tonight.
Missing on those right uppercuts just barely.
Both sides shouting out direction to their respective fighters. I guess one of the advantages of being the foreign fighter coming in to a place like Canada for somebody like Ortega in their corner, talking Spanish. A lot of people don't know what they're communicating. That's a huge advantage.
Yeah. When Ortega can stay to the outside, he's getting some shots in. He's setting it up with a couple straight hands down the pipe. Then he's, you know, hitting some really good body shots on Valdivia. And it's, you know, and it's funny because you're, as, you know, when you're just watching, you would assume, you know, that you're going to be a headhunter. The taller opponent is going to be a headhunter because, well, that's the trajectory of your arms. But, I mean, he's digging into the body, and he had some really good shots. Even though he's marked up a little bit in that second round, I say he could have taken that second round. And the key points, too, as well, is that he came out of that round very strong, but he started that round also very strong, which, you know, if you ever want to compete in a sport or in the martial arts or anything of that capacity, listen, it's your first and last impression that you leave in a judge's mind. And that's why they always say, you know, flurry it up, go hard that last 30, that last 10, because it truly is that lasting impression in a judge's mind and when they have to score a round.
If you know the backstory of Luis Valdivia, you have such more of an appreciation of what he is doing in that ring tonight. He is not a full-time fighter. He is also, obviously, like many of these fighters, has a second job as a dump truck driver. Gets up at 5 a.m. every morning, works a full day, and then heads into the gym and trains. Not easy for a young man like this, but making ends meet is just sometimes the day-to-day of your average fighter. As we get back to the action. Both fighters putting on a showcase right in the center of the ring. Big shots from the lefts. There's some of that dirty boxing that you were talking about, Michelle. Valdivia, he's just that little pest, just keeps coming every round.
Yep, and that's definitely one thing as well, that even though the more significant shots were landed by Ortega in that second round, you know, Valdivia keeps coming forward. And on defense, think about what a juxtaposition that is, to continue to move forward while trying to defend yourself. Those are two opposite things that you're doing, which he does very, very well.
Missed uppercut there from Valdivia. Look at that combination. Ortega looking to respond. Less than a minute to go in round number 3. Once again, you're watching Championship Boxing. Look at that little finesse there. With that left, Ortega.
You're hearing John Melich and Richard Sousse in the corner of Valdivia say body, 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 because right now he is going straight at Ortega's head.
John Melich been training professional since 1982. He's been around the fight game for quite some time. Incredible boxing minds in the corner of Valdivia has only benefited his game here in the professional ranks.
Ortega, you know, no slouch, definitely. He's 2-2-0. And, you know, both losses, unfortunately for him, coming via KO. But he's also been off for the last 2 years. His most recent fight was a knockout loss back in June of 2014. So both of these fighters are looking very good, considering they've had at least 2 years off each. So that's like a really interesting point, just to see the conditioning of these two young men and what they've been able to do, putting on a fantastic show through 3 rounds so far.
So Michelle, 3 rounds in, where are you scoring this fight right now?
That last round was really hard to score. But I'll give it to Valdivia because he has that ringmanship and he does you know, push forward all the time as well. But that was a really tough one to score. So I have it 2-1 for Valdivia.
Well, you can certainly see why nobody at one point in his career wanted to fight this young man. He is a very difficult fighter.
And now you're going to see. Now you're going to see both fighters kind of go for it here.
Well, this is what they've been training all camp for. This moment right here, final round between Jesus Ortega and Luis Valdivia. Big uppercut combination from Ortega. Now looking to create a little bit more space is Ortega. Ortega got a little message or word there in front of his trunks. Chewy, I don't know if I'm saying that right. But,
Chewy, that's his nickname, yes.
Very good.
I have to look up the Mexican translation because I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with Star Wars.
Well, that was my next question. Body shot there from Ortega. Exposing the chin, though, of the Mexican.
John Melich getting really vocal in the corner of Valdivia right now just because, you know, they can see Ortega really putting it on now. Final round. And, you know, even though shots may not be landing because he is putting up a very good guard, it doesn't matter. You don't want to be the fighter on the wrong end, you know, of not being busy. You don't want to be too relaxed, right? You definitely want to be the busier fighter in there.
Valdivia has a small cut on the top of his nose. He's opened up a little bit. Ortega seems to be unfazed, but that'll do it. Exciting fight all 4 rounds. As we mentioned earlier, going into that 4th round, Michelle Storino had that fight marked up as 2-1. And it seems like you're giving the final round there to Ortega.
Honestly, this is a tough one. What is going on with this card so far? We've already had a draw between Steve Rainford and Winston Matthews. We had a unanimous decision win a little bit earlier on, which we'll be showing you the highlights of a cruiserweight fight between Lyndon Chambers of Barrie, Ontario, and Brock Arthur out of Ajax. And so now we're getting another decision here. And this is the thing. You never want to leave it up to the judges. We mentioned that after the last fight.
As we take a look at some highlights here.
Tons of action in this fight from both fighters.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? You love seeing those knockouts on any card, but give a lot of credit to United for putting on some very evenly contested bouts here tonight early on as we await the decision of this contest. What a great moment it would be, though, if the decision went to Luis Valdivia, his first professional fight in Canada, inside of the Hershey Center here in Mississauga. This crowd will certainly erupt.
Yeah, Ortega was very good at, you know, when he stuck to his game plan, or maybe when he just didn't, I guess you could say, succumb to Valdivia's game plan. He was very good at keeping him to the outside and, you know, utilizing those angles and hitting those shots. I don't know, it's going to be a tough one.
The decision is in. Let's throw it over to Patrick Lono with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds, we go to the scorecards for a decision. Dr. Marvin Zanzan scores the bout 39-37 Valdivia. Mr. Alan Davis scores the bout 39-37 Ortega. And Mr. Jeremy Hayes scores the bout 38-38. Your decision is a draw.
At least I had that right this time. I had that right. 2 fights, 2 draws. This has got to be some sort of a record here for United Promotions.
Definitely not the ideal results for the fans here at the Hershey Center, but again, 2 very evenly contested bouts. You just got to appreciate the great boxing that we've seen tonight from all 4 fighters.
Hey, you know what? None of these guys came to lose, right? At the end of the day, they all are coming in here thinking that they're going to win. They all have their own game plans. They all know what to do to be successful. And to be completely honest, they all have been able to do so for 2 rounds apiece. And that's how we get 2 draws throughout our first 2 matches so far tonight.
Well, we have an exciting fight in the cruiserweight division coming up next, 200 pounds. It is Hugo Casanovas against the Oshawa, Ontario native, Abakan Bokpi. Welcome back to Championship Boxing on Rogers TV. Kyle Alberto, Michelle Storino bringing you all the action tonight. It is an electric atmosphere inside of the Hershey Center as we have our 3rd bout of the evening getting ready to get going here. It is Hugo Casanovas taking on Abakan Bokpi of Oshawa, Ontario. As you can see, the stats for Hugo Daniel Casanovas, a 3-1 record, 2 knockouts in his professional career. Again, Hugo, he's got that knockout power that obviously the fans are going to be looking to after 2 draws to open up the evening, Michelle.
I would say that's unlucky 2 draws, but at the same time, as we mentioned, it's just, you know, the fighters coming here and going after it. Coming in here and just doing their thing.
Please welcome Abakan Bokpi.
Here comes Abakan Bokpi, a 2-0 professional record. His 2nd appearance inside of the Hershey Center. was a win over Shavar Henry in a unanimous decision. He is looking to make, again, a serious impact in his third professional bout here against Hugo Casanovas.
And I guess you could say this is the battle of the veterans. You know, Bokpi being 37 years of age and Casanovas 32 years old. I mean, 32 years old isn't that old, but just compared to Valdivia, the 23-year-old, we have another 23-year-old on the card coming up as our co-main event in Cody Crawley. These guys are the vets of United Promotions.
A small town boy is Bokpi out of Oshawa, Ontario. I'll tell you, they breed him well down there, certainly. This is a towering presence, just so much confidence pouring off the body of Bokpi here. Making his way into the squared circle.
Dixie Hyundai and Cambridge Hyundai proudly present this 4-round contest in the Cruiserweight division. Your judges for this bout are Mr. Jeremy Hayes, Mr. Harry Davis, and Dr. Marvin Cezanne. When the bell sounds, your third man in the ring, the referee, is Mr. Mark Simmons. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gold trimmed with purple, his professional record, 3 wins, only 1 defeat, 2 wins coming by way of knockout. From Buenos Aires, Argentina, weighing 198.8 pounds, Hugo Storm Casanovas. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing all white. He is undefeated in the pro ranks, 2 wins, no losses. From Oshawa, Ontario, weighing 196.1 pounds, Boken, the Atomic Bokpi.
Boxers, we went over the instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. When I say break, you step back, you stop punching, protect yourself at all times. Anything under here is low. Anything under here is low. Touch gloves, good luck to the both of you.
Okay. Ends in a draw, I'd be shocked. That was an intense stare down. I love it. I love this sport.
So we're taking a look at the numbers here of Akan Bokpi against Hugo Casanovas. This should be a lot of fun here.
One thing to mention about Bokpi, usually he is just so much bigger in terms of length, taller and longer than all of his opponents, but Casanovas seems to be right there toe-to-toe in terms of size.
Not a significant reach advantage from the looks of it, but
he's going heavy on that overhand right.
A lot of power behind the hands of Bokpi.
Yeah, Bokpi being a southpaw as well. So it's tough to contend with, but you're also more susceptible to the overhand right, even more so.
A lot of action on our side here. And you've seen that tonight with our southpaws, using the right to really set up that left.
Casanovas looking kind of like Colin Farrell right now. I was like, he looks familiar.
I wasn't going to say it, but.
You can already hear from Bokpi's corner saying right down the pipe, because everything so far Casanovas has thrown has literally been these wild, flailing punches, all looping punches. And he's already been warned about punching to the back of the head as well.
I think he was warned about that low blow shot there to Bokpi. Hands are just flailing here early on in this contest. There's a low shot from Buckby. You know, our main event is the Battle of Ontario, Storino, but you know, an underlying rivalry that we have happening here tonight is a little bit of that Canada, North America versus South America feel to it. You got a lot of fighters on this card from Argentina, Mexico. That is certainly something to look out for as we continue on here tonight. Looks like there's a small mouse there over the left eyebrow of Buckby. Good look at the cut on the Oshawa native, and that'll do it. Exciting opening round there.
Casanovas is swinging for the fences with every single punch. My goodness, you know where he's going all the time as well. So that is definitely an advantage, I think, for Buckby, because you know what he's coming at you with. So if you can sustain that and be able to throw a couple straight hands down the pipe while he's looping those and trying to get to you, because remember, he is still the bigger, longer fighter, and he's also southpaw. So he's got to get past, Casanovas has to get past that long right arm of Buckby before he can loop around and do anything else.
Well, as we mentioned, Buckby hasn't been at the pro game too long. It has just been 3 years since he broke out on the professional ranks. He had 28 amateur fights before turning pro, debuting in April of 2014 with a split decision win over a man that is on this card tonight. We are, of course, talking about Lyndon Chambers at the Royal York Hotel in Toronto.
And now Buckby's switched stances too, so he's fighting now orthodox. Maybe trying to combat the fact that he's getting that overhand, but you got to keep that left hand up. You know, you got to, if it's not up, you got to pump it out and get that jab going. That's it.
I like that, pump it out.
Sorry. Because your jab does so many things.
Those over-the-top shots there from Casanovas.
Continuing on that wavelength, your jab does so many things. It's a starting point to see your distance. It's a use of deflection. So, you know, sometimes you just don't want your opponent to see what's up, so you're just gonna have your hand out there the whole time, kind of gauging your distance, using it as a distraction. Then, of course, you can use it obviously as offense to set up other punches, and you use it for defense to keep fighters at bay.
Everybody just tuning in, welcome into Championship Boxing on Rogers TV. Kyle Alberto, Michelle Storino bringing you all the action here tonight. Our third bout of the evening here on Rogers TV. It is Abakan Buckby in the white trunks. You've got Hugo Casanovas out of Argentina in the gold and maroon.
Buckby's gone back to southpaw. And that cut has definitely opened up a little bit more, Kyle. As you can see, there's some blood spatter on his shorts.
Michelle, you've been doing this a long time. Any blood come this way? Because I do need to
yes,
get prepared.
Yes. My prep sheets have been splattered, to say the least. Never my clothing, though, so if that's any help.
Minimizing the dry cleaning bill for sure. We see some action here in our corner. Casanovas, some big rights. So our official for this contest, bringing him back in the middle. Again with that huge Over the top shot there. Go big or go home from the Argentinian. Once again. Just an awkward steeze there from Casanovas. Over the top, bullying Bokpi there into the ropes late in that round. How do you score that one?
And you could see here, you know, like even though he is throwing these looping shots and kind of going for gold and swinging for the fences, whatever kind of cliche you want to use for it, Kyle, is that he's still landing them either way. He's still landing some pretty big shots. And, you know, if he's not getting him cleanly with an overhand, he's following it up with some body shots as well. And he's really putting Bokpi kind of off balance. And really, he's not doing anything offensively. Anything he's doing is purely defensively and kind of keeping him at bay or, you know, counter punching. He's not really on the offensive himself. He just keeps moving backwards. And you can see when you're on defense, folks, it's more tiring than when you're the one producing all the offense and throwing punches and bunches, if you will.
Let's get the second half of this bout underway here. 3 of 4 rounds in this cruiserweight division. Those shots. Spurs in the chin there. Casanovas, Bokpi taking full advantage. Big right from Casanovas. Bokpi toying with him a little bit. Saying that's all you got?
Both guys playing to the crowd a little bit as well.
Both really animated fighters in this contest. Certainly my vote for fight of the night up to this point. Big left.
Bokpi keeps switching stances here to try to scrub Casanova a little bit.
Thunderous right. See that versatility a little bit in Bokpi's game.
Bokpi's mouth is open. He's breathing heavily as well. We still have a minute and a half to go in this third round. So a lot of time left.
We saw that a little earlier in the fight from the way Casanovas as well.
Casanovas is doing a great job of, you know, this is the definition of dirty boxing here, kind of laying on your opponent, trying to get those, you know, short hooks or small uppercuts into the body as well. And just leaning on your opponent, because your weight, on top of the fact that they have to defend themselves, is exhausting. Bokpi needs to put some combos together. Here he goes.
Stumbling. He is down! Thunderous shots, and he is pumped! This fight is over. Hugo Casanovas having a hard time getting back up on his feet with some thunderous shots from Abakan Bokpi. Give him 3 wins now on his professional fight career. Wow, what an impact and a statement made tonight, Michelle, from the Oshawa, Ontario native. Get a load of this right here. Stumbling, doesn't know where he is. And then Bokpi putting the final touches on what was a very convincing win. The man in the all white trunks, another look at it, another angle there. Just empowering blows from the Canadian. Well, the draw streak, came to an abrupt end. Yes, right there.
I think everyone is pretty happy about that other than Casanovas. Yeah.
Casanovas still having a hard time getting back up on his feet. Finally does. Still a little wobbly there, looking to give some love. to the opposition right now, but they're not letting him. They're sitting him right down, ice on the neck.
You know, we saw both fighters.
That picture says it all right there. But if you take a look, this would happen just moments before that knockout. A huge right to the way of Abakan Bakpi.
How can you know, they're both guys were playing to the crowd. They both took massive shots earlier in that round. And now, you know, he comes back, finishes with a left hook in his normal southpaw stance. And it seemed as though Casanovas was, you know, backing up, and he was tired. He was already shaken up, and that initial jab set up the rockiness, and he just finished it off with that left hook.
That is one happy camper. We will give the official decision over to Patrick Mono.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fight is stopped at 2 minutes, 25 seconds of round number 3. The winner by knockout, Boken, the Atomic Bakpi.
The elder statesman, Abakan Bakpi, with his 3rd professional win in the great sport of boxing. And we're going to take a look as quick pose there from Bakpi for the cameras there, but we will head into our commercial break with one more look at that devastating knockout from the Oshawa, Ontario native. We will return on Rogers TV. You are watching Championship Boxing on Channel 10. Kyle Alberto, Michelle Storino. We got a whole lot coming still. We still got the main event, Ryan Young and Ryan Wagner. Welcome back to Championship Boxing on Rogers TV. You are looking at 2 fighters that opened up the card tonight at the Hershey Center. Before we went live to air, it was Lyndon Chambers of Barrie, Ontario against the Ajax native Brock Arthur. A very entertaining bout. Storino went obviously to a unanimous decision, but some interesting back and forth affair throughout this entire contest.
Yeah. you never really know what's going to happen in, you know, the cruiserweight divisions. Anytime you have the big boys out there, you don't know what's going to happen. We just saw between Casanovas and Bachby, two heavy hitters. These two guys basically grinded it out for the duration of the 6th-round fight, with Arthur coming away victorious via unanimous decision. So Arthur improves his record to 3-1-1. Lyndon Chambers, meanwhile, unfortunately dropping to 1-3-0. But he's 41 years of age, Kyle, and every time I see him fight, I kind of marvel at the fact that he's got the guts to do this and continues to put on, you know, good shows for the fans here at the Hershey Center.
We are ready for our next bout of the evening, and for the introductions, we're going to throw it over to Patrick Lono right after the break. Welcome back to Championship Boxing on Rogers TV. We are ready for our next bout of the evening in the 185 Cruiserweight division. It is Jay Alexander out of Collingwood, Ontario, taking on the Mexican, Fabian Salcedo. As Fabian Salcedo in the ring right now, we will now see the intro of Jay Alexander.
Welcome, Jay Alexander.
And a rousing ovation for the Collingwood, Ontario native. This will be the 3rd professional bout for Jay Alexander. His previous 2 fights came inside of this very ring, inside of the Hershey Center. We have not seen him in just under 2 years. He makes his return to United Promotions here on this Saturday evening, looking to make a big impact in front of, obviously, a heavy contingent of Jay Alexander fans here tonight, Michelle.
Well, in his first couple fights, didn't exactly go as planned. Both unanimous decision losses to Tim Cronin, which we are very used to seeing here as well at United Promotions and at the Hershey Center.
Let's throw it back over to Patrick Lono.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pressler Law Firm, 401 Dixie Hyundai, and Cambridge Hyundai proudly present this 4-round battle in the Cruiserweight division. Your judges for this contest are Mr. Jeremy Hayes, Dr. Marvin Sazant, and Mr. Alan Davis. When the bell sounds, the third man in the ring, your referee, is Mr. Donovan Boucher. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing dark blue trimmed with white, his professional record, 1 win, 1 defeat. He hails from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and weighed in today at 189 pounds, Fabian El Mortero Salcedo. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trimmed with white, looking to score his first professional victory tonight. From Collingwood, Ontario, weighing 190.3 pounds, Jay Alexander!
Gentlemen, I give pre-fight instructions in the changing room. All I want from both of you is to listen to my comment at all time. Protect yourself at all times. Good. I want to keep the punches above here. Is good. Above here is good. Gentlemen, touch love. Good luck, both of you.
Well, the support for Jay Alexander has come out in spades all along ringside. Our Jay Alexander faithful. Look at the stats here. 8 pro rounds. Very strong build to Jay. He is on the other side to Fabian Salcedo. We are underway here. Good combination there from Salcedo. Working with the left is the Mexican.
A frantic start to this one. Both fighters coming out like 2 raging bulls at each other.
That's certainly one way to put it.
Alexander's corner telling him to simmer down a bit. Oh, he's
a little wobbly there.
Yep.
Another breakup there from our official for this contest. So much pressure tonight for Alexander. Obviously, a lot of support in the crowd. Does not want to disappoint. And with all that, still looking for his first professional win.
He still looks wobbly after that big shot. Looks like he's got a mouse now underneath the left eye.
Alexander still looking to set the tone, looking to make an effort to be on attack mode here. Got to be very careful though. Corner of Alexander yelling jab, left hook, jab, left hook.
You can kind of feel the tension in this arena right now as everyone's kind of holding their breath, knowing that he did get rocked early in this round. And, you know, one thing about Alexander that we've seen in all of his fights since they've all been here at the Hershey Center with United Promotions is that he's always been the smaller fighter. This is his plight, so to speak, right? Smaller, stockier fighter. He's definitely more steady on his feet in this showing since the last time we've seen him, which was November 2014. But no question, he took a huge shot right away, and he does have a mouse developing underneath that left eye.
Another look at a big shot here of Salcedo. That really set the tone for the remainder of the round right there.
Yeah, he set it up with the double jab, and you know, I mentioned before that the jab is used for a couple different things. Right there, literally, like you could almost kind of tee up your opponent just by, you know, kind of poking it out there, seeing the distance, checking it out, and knowing that your power punch is coming right behind it.
Well, I don't think there was a debate after that round. You're giving that opener to Salcedo.
Yeah, have to give it to Salcedo on that one. And the remarkable thing about Fabian is that he literally just fought 2 weeks ago. A unanimous decision win versus Raul Villarreal. So, and this is his first fight outside of Argentina. He's dealing with a lot of stuff as well, you know. Meanwhile, Alexander having to deal with the fact that he's, you know, hasn't fought since November 2014, so almost a full 2 years without fighting, which is a very, very long time. Tons of family and friends here. The pressure of that, plus the pressure of wanting your first professional win. A lot going through the mind of Jay Alexander.
Two men that are on totally different sides of the spectrum. One man, 2 years. On the other side, 2 weeks. Incredible. As we get this second round underway here. Very wobbly in the first round, but Jay Alexander not shying away here from the Mexican. Corner Jay Alexander telling him to use his body.
Well, and that's basically what he's doing. He's trying to, you know, impose his will, impose his weight, because he is the thicker of the two. He does have to try to get on the inside. That is always the plight of the smaller fighter. You have to work and barrel your way on the inside to land those significant shots. Salcedo's here to fight, man. He's no slouch.
No doubt. Nice uppercut there from Salcedo. Alexander looking to bully him into the ropes. Another one backing down.
His corner urging him to basically push the pace, push the ringsmanship as well in positioning in terms of what he wants to do, because he's really playing defensive throughout the first round and a half now.
Really talking very highly on the mindset of Jay Alexander and the composure of this fighter. Obviously not a kind first round for the Collingwood native. But again, coming back, seems to be bigger, badder, better than ever. And round number 2, looking to equalize this contest here after 2 rounds. Just under 30 seconds remaining.
Some redness forming on Salcedo's low back on the left side, as Alexander's really utilizing that body hook on that side as well. And you know, one thing too that's always intrigued me in terms of this sport is that, yes, you do have, you know, coaches, you have your corner and who's able to, you know, speak and communicate with you, and then you could hear, as we've got mics all around the ring as well, you know, a lot of people giving advice to the fighters. But two things. Number one, are they hearing it? Number two, are they willing to listen to the advice of the corners? That's always either, you know, a downfall of a fighter or a true testament to, you know, part of his workmanship and being able to stick to a game plan. And that's really sometimes what it comes down to, being able to stick to a game plan and what you came in there to do, and to be able to listen and execute upon listening. And that is a very hard concept. And I know it sounds very rudimentary, but it's so hard to do sometimes when you're in there, to pull that trigger, to do exactly what they're telling you to do.
Well, it's certainly a coach and trainer's dream, obviously. And I'll tell you right now that the failure or success of a fighter comes down to his coachability. I think it's so important in the sport of boxing.
And then you can never really predict, you know, at the end of the day, what you're going to be like, what is going to happen once you are in that squared circle and all the lights are on you and all your family and friends are here to watch. It's a very different atmosphere than sparring is completely. It's a 180-degree difference.
Flailing left there, missed by Salcedo. But bringing him back into his corner there. Alexander there resting on the body of Salcedo. Is fatigue a real factor in round 3 of a 4-round fight?
Well, it's has a lot to do with it. Like I mentioned a few things prior. You know, the fact that defending is always makes you more tired than what you think, and you know, having to deal with someone else's body weight, which is what, you know, Alexander's part of his, I guess, strategy is as well. You know, putting his bigger, thicker, heavier body on Salcedo. And adrenaline. It's a big thing as well. It's a big overhand right by Salcedo.
You'd have to expect anybody to get into that fatigue when you attacked as much as Jay Alexander has in this contest tonight.
And so the problem here right now is that if you're scoring this at home and you're thinking, I wonder who's winning this fight, Alexander's not doing anything other than, you know, kind of whiffing here and there. The offense really isn't coming. The punches aren't coming in multiples. It's maximum 3. He's getting backed up.
Alexander jawing with Salcedo here. We're in grind mode right now as we are rounding out the 3rd round. Less than 10 seconds remaining in the 3rd round of this 4-round bout. We are now in the 2nd half of our fight card. Some very intriguing matchups still to come. Of course, Ari Cox of Brampton set to take the squared circle next against Mexico City's David Martinez. And of course, Cody Crawley will make his return to the ring, the Peterborough, Ontario native. Good look there at Brendan Cooks, current NABA champion, in-house tonight, taking part in the festivities. Great to see him in the building tonight, Michelle.
Yeah, the bad boy coming back with a vengeance in his last fight. He had a long layoff with an injured hand. And something similar happening to Ryan Young, who of course is going to be in our main event a little bit later on as well, as he fights for the Super Welterweight Canadian title against Ryan Wagner.
That fight is going to be a lot of fun. We are not underestimating what happened at the weigh-ins. These two young men, I'll tell you, it was very, very intense. A lot of threats certainly coming from both fighters approaching this fight tonight. Truly the Battle of Ontario. Salcedo posted up shop here on our side of the canvas. Great move there from Alexander. Still showing great quickness is the Collingwood native.
Salcedo doing a really good job just, backing him up and really not, giving Alexander any opportunities to generate any offense either. There's a mouse underneath the left eye of Salcedo now as well.
The hand speed slowly dwindling from both fighters here towards the end of this bout.
Both fighters now breathing with the mouths open. It's getting to them a bit. Final minute of 4-round bout.
Both fighters still working hard. Again, that last minute of a bout, maybe the most important minute of any fight. Looking to make that lasting impression on the judges here that are also at ringside. Seconds remaining in this 185 cruiserweight tilt. Does Alexander have something left in the toolbox here? Great combination then, the fight there. Great mutual respect for both fighters. We will wait for a decision. What do you got, Michelle?
Salcedo and his corner definitely feeling that they won that fight and I'm agreeing in that decision as well, if that were the decision.
A lot of fans on their feet right now awaiting the decision. Take a look at some highlights of that last bout. There's certainly highlights on both sides, but I'm with you, Michelle. I think there was just a little bit more shown from the Mexican. If you look at the matchup here between Canada and South America, we open with a draw, a win for Canada, which we like. That knockout, that impressive knockout from Abakan Bokpe. But it might be equalized here with Salcedo potentially on the verge of a big win here at the Hershey Center. Many fans in the crowd rocking those shirts that the Alexander team is donning inside of the ring right now. There's a lot of white in the arena here tonight. The official decision is in. We will now momentarily turn it over to Patrick Lono.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds, we go to the scorecards. The judges scored about 40-36, 40-36, And 39-37 for the winner by unanimous decision, Fabian Salcedo.
And the crowd not too pleased with that decision. A lot of disappointed fans in the building, but not really a surprise. Salcedo put in a clean night of work tonight.
Yeah, I agree with that decision as well. I mean, Alexander showed a little bit of surprise on his face, but I mean, Salcedo was the more active fighter. He got punches off. I mean, Alexander was on the defensive most of the time. He gassed out, unfortunately, as well. Salcedo now 2 wins in the last 2 weeks. I'd say that's a pretty good 2 weeks of work, right?
That's incredible. Excellent job from the Iron Man.
And Alexander still getting a round of applause from all his family and friends supporting him here tonight at the Hershey Center.
As he should. A great effort indeed. We still have great action coming up. Up next, we have the rock star, Ori Cox, in 154 super welterweight action. You're watching Championship Boxing on Rogers TV. Stay tuned, everybody. Kyle Alberto, Michelle Storino. We got a whole lot coming at you.
$155.9.
The rock star, Ari Cox, taking on David Martinez. Ari Cox coming into this bout rocking a 4-0 professional boxing record. 2 of those wins coming via the knockout. Certainly a lot of power behind both those powerful mitts. Very comfortable wins over Steve Rainford, Jesus Oliveras, Steve Rainford once again, and John Passy Dionis.
And one thing to note about Ori is that he's improved with every single fight that he's had here at the Hershey Center. So it's kind of I like watching Ori Cox fight because it's like a coming-of-age story, you know, if a boxing movie, right? It's the Ori Cox coming-of-age story because we get to see him improve every single time out because he's fought here every single time.
Yes.
So his last 2 fights have been KOs as well. So, and he just gets more and more, and you see the enthusiasm from him. And you'll see in the fight, and once he comes out and he's got a whole entourage, I mean, this is what boxing is all about. He's very into it, very passionate young man, 28 years of age as well. But, you know, every single opponent Ori Cox has faced up until this point has had the same or very similar amount of experience in the ring, but Martinez poses a very different challenge for him because he's had double the amount of fights. So, you know, not to say that experience in this game means you're a better fighter, it just means you've had more chances to kind of prove to yourself, prove to your coaches, and just experiment even as well in terms of, you know, what you can do in offensively, defensively, how comfortable you are in the squared circle, so to speak.
David Martinez has made his way into the squared circle. 7-1 record, 1 win via the knockout. A young man that has a very diverse game, obviously. But now we'll send it over to Patrick Lowe.
Ori Cox.
This will be one of the biggest challenges of Ori Cox's professional career. Again, with 1 knockout just of those 7 wins for David Martinez, really shows the well-roundedness of his game. Incredible boxing IQ when you talk about the Mexican. As everybody inside of the Hershey Center on the edge of their seat, waiting for the Brampton, Ontario native to come through the curtains. And here he comes as a very loud ovation takes over the Hershey Center in another battle of Canada versus South America. From Brampton, fighting out of Orangeville, Ontario. There's a good look there at his girlfriend, Camille. A ton of support for the rock star. And look at this. Batman has arrived in Gotham. Ori Cox brings some heavy artillery to ringside. Brampton's edition of the Dark Knight.
Yes, he's been a staple at all of Ori's fights. And it's fantastic to see him sitting ringside too. It's so good in the corner.
A very intimidating presence there. Batman in the corner of Ori Cox. I'm now seeing everything in the sport.
Welterweight division. Your judges for this bout are Mr. Jeremy Hayes, Mr. Harry Davis, and Mr. Alan Davis. When the bell sounds, the third man in the ring, your referee, is Mr. Dave Dunbar. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the colors of La Tierra Azteca. His professional record, 7 victories, only 1 defeat, 1 win coming by way of knockout. From Durango, Mexico, weighing 154.9 pounds, David Popeye Martinez. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing all black and accompanied to the ring by the Dark Knight himself. Undefeated as a professional, 4 wins, no defeats, 2 wins coming by way of knockout. From Orangeville, Ontario, weighing 155.9 pounds, Ori Rockstar Cox.
Belt line is here. Belt line is here. Above these marks is good blows. I like a good clean fight. I want you to protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Gloves now, gentlemen. Come out at the bell.
The first back-to-back bouts, in the super welterweight 154-pound division. It is Ari Cox taking on David Popeye Martinez. Here we go. Cox looking to make the crowd sing early on here in the Hershey Center. Couple of quick lefts there from Martinez. Big left. And down goes Popeye. Look at Ari Cox right now. The confidence is showing. It almost looks like the bout's already won. Maybe something happened now. The left. We talked about it. He's got a 50% knockout percentage in the way of Ari Cox.
You know, I joked early on just about it's like a coming of age story, but it really is. You know, we've seen him grow as a fighter, and just his confidence you mentioned, just he seems so much more confident in his own skin and what his abilities are and, you know, what his strengths are, and he plays to his strengths.
And I think this fight is really a telling tale of another fighter that, you know, we've talked about in the same type of role as Ari Cox, Ryan Young. This is a young man that we have seen through this promotion work his way up to elite status. Of course, both rocking undefeated records in this promotion.
Well, they're both starting to trade here.
Face of Ari Cox quite red.
Well, Martinez is pretty long as well, considering he's not that much taller. But Martinez, you know, he's got that 7-1 record. He's no slouch either. I mean, his last loss came in December of 2012, so this young man is used to winning. You know, he's got a swagger to him as well. He was caught off guard, I think, the first, you know, minute or so of that round, but now he's definitely loosened up, and we're seeing what he's more capable of here, and this seems like it's going to be a really good fight on our hands.
Well, the end of the round came at the right time for Martinez. As we see, a big combination there from Cox, leading to Martinez on his backside. But he didn't give up. He kept coming towards the second half of that first round. But certainly embracing the end of the round here. The way of Popeye Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez, like I said, you know, he just kind of needed that first minute to 90 seconds to, you know, kind of get his bearings within himself and feel a little bit more relaxed, at ease. And now we saw him open up a little bit more. He got that knockdown, but showed a lot of resiliency at the end of that round.
Former Olympian Dwight Fraser in the corner of Ari Cox tonight. Love Batman in the corner of Cox. Certainly a fan favorite here. At one point, I would like to see Cox actually put on the Dark Knight suit in the ring. That would be something.
I don't think that's allowed, Kyle, but thank you for being a dreamer.
We'll have to talk to the commission.
You know, one thing I have to admit that I do like about Martinez's game right now is that he keeps busy. His hands are going.
Cox going to really stay compact here. Not go out of his element. He had a game plan coming into tonight. He's looking to stick to it. A roaring ovation for Ori. Waves through the Hershey Center here, rallying behind their fellow Canadian. Just over a minute remaining here in round number 2. No doubt a 1-round to 0 lead right now for Ari Cox.
Yeah, Cox is throwing a lot of, more so the hooks both sides. He's throwing the right and the left because he's finding that there were, you know, that's what landed, that's what knocked Martinez down in the first round, and it's still effective. He's finding that it's landing. Martinez, so these two guys are in the middle of the ring throwing toe-to-toe. Very willing opponent, to say the least. This uppercut.
I haven't seen a ton of uppercuts connecting tonight through all of our bouts this evening. But when they do, it's a beautiful thing. Here comes Martinez. Coming alive here, but here comes Cox. Big right. Exciting end to that second round.
It's basically been going back and forth. This is a tough one to call right now. Both guys landing some pretty good shots on either side. Both guys very busy. Both taking command of the center of the ring. No one really backing up so much, but we're seeing Martinez kind of labor in his corner. We're seeing as both fighters now throwing those looping punches, rather, those hooks to the head seem to be pretty effective for both fighters.
Both fighters getting some direction. Official looking to get this third round going here. And here we go. Cox looking to emulate what he did in that opening round. Certainly woke up the Hershey Center in more ways than one. There's something about this arena, Michelle, that brings the best out of Ari Cox.
It's funny, we saw in the first round, you know, obviously both guys kind of guns and blazes. Same thing happened in that second round. Now they're a little bit more calculated. They're more choosing their shots right now. I think a couple more feints.
You can see the official keeping a close eye on Popeye. You can really see the way a fight's going on the tendencies of the official, really looking at seeing which fighter seems to be in a lull, really hurting. of space here for Cox right now.
Yeah, Martinez has him up against the ropes.
And Cox fighting out of it. Great job. And the Ori chants coming back through the building. Couple of big shots to the way of Popeye.
It's funny, you're seeing like the different styles, you know, so if you at home, you want to get into this sport or, you know, still a beginner in the sport and wondering, you know, what it's like to fight or what kind of a style would I have. Martinez, it's, you know, I kind of want to say he's like traditional. He actually comes in, he literally steps in with that jab, comes in, and then that sets up a flurry of punches. Whereas Cox, you know, you're seeing now, he was feigning to get in inside, then through his flurry.
So we see more of a back and forth round here from both. Tough to score this one in my eyes.
Yeah, both guys just really came here to fight and really doing a great job of trying to pick each other apart and find those proper openings. Well, as we mentioned earlier, Martinez, he's on a 5-fight win streak. His only loss coming in his pro debut, unfortunately, was a knockout loss. And you know, because both of these guys are choosing their spots and they, you know, are being more calculated with everything, that's what you're going to find. You're going to find the grazing of the punches. Both of them not landing, or both of them either landing at the same time and barely hitting each other, but that's what you're going to get.
So we have now gone past the midway point of our bout here tonight between Ari Cox and Popeye Martinez. This is a 6-round bout in the 154 super heavyweight, welterweight, division. We have an 8-round bout coming up next. It is Cody Crawley coming into the Hershey Center tonight in our co-main event of the evening, Michelle. We're coming down to the final bouts tonight. Big shot to the face of Popeye. Lefts being exchanged from both fighters.
Say as well, you know, like, other than that second round where Cox got lit up a little bit, you know, his defense has definitely tightened up, especially in this fourth round here. It's like, yeah, but sometimes, you know, this is what you're going to get. Like, you know, both fighters calculated, almost, you know, you don't want to say they know what each other's going to do, but this is how you get that kind of stalemate or chess match, so to speak.
I think it's a great analogy. I mean, I think that's boxing 101. I mean, it's a back and forth. It is a chess match.
you know, if he wants to take this round, he's definitely got to get out of that corner, which he did.
Popeye taking some big hits in this 4th round. A lot of people wondering at home, how is he still on his feet? As we approach the end of this round. Wow, you got to give that one to Cox. He looks strong.
Yeah, as mentioned, his defense is getting tighter.
We're going to look at some highlights here.
I'm trying to listen into both corners. Both corners are being really quiet right now. I'm trying to hear everything. They're not giving us anything. Just like those two fighters aren't giving each other anything either. Both have really good defense. They're like, you could say either really good defense or poor offense, however you want to see it, glass half full, I guess, right? But there are a lot of, I guess you could say, swings and misses because of the fact that, you know, they're being more calculated. They are defending better, incorporating a little bit more head movement, footwork. I think Cox still has the edge, however, because of the 1st round knockdown, and he won that 4th round there. I mean, it still could be tied up through 4.
You're watching Championship Boxing on Rogers TV. We are approaching our featured bouts of the evening. Kyle Alberto, Michelle Storino, bringing you all the action here tonight on Rogers TV. And we welcome everybody watching across the country, all over the world on YouTube.
We've had a little bit of everything so far tonight. We've had a few draws. We've had a devastating knockout. We've had a unanimous decision. And then the calculated chess match, so to speak, here.
A little bit of everything tonight on Channel 10. God, look at this exchange. It's being brought to the center of the ring here. Again, Cox looking to utilize that uppercut. Martinez was a little wobbly there. A quick second.
Oh, nice left hand.
Martinez hasn't taken a ton of devastating body shots, but certainly a ton to the face of Popeye.
Now, one thing too that Cox does well when he is up against the ropes is that he doesn't stay there too long, and that's the thing too. It's a calculated thing. You know you have to get out of there. You know you have to defend. So many things are going through your mind when you are put up against the ropes. Obviously, defend yourself, see the punches coming, and then it's almost as if wait until the perfect time to explode, and then that's when you make your move, right? So you have to wait for that opening, but then you have to take it instantaneously as well. And you got to make that step either to your left, to your right, and then that corresponding punch that comes with it. Sometimes it's an uppercut to get out of the corner. Sometimes it's a hook.
Now, boxing is all about timing and what you do with the opportunities that are given to you.
And, you know, if you could be watching and you could be thinking, oh, I can't believe you didn't throw it there. Oh, I can't. Yeah, it's so fast in there. And, I mean, as much as you do technically want to think,
we see an exciting end here to this 5th round.
As much as you do want to, you know, think while you're in there and have your wits about you, at the same time, you still want a lot of it to be, you know, muscle memory. You want to have that muscle reaction, so to speak, so that, you know, it's ingrained and learned in you that you know what to do when you are put in certain precarious positions, so to speak, like we mentioned, along the ropes. Martinez looking very, very winded right now. It seems as though his trunks could be too tight on him. They're holding his trunks back, and he's having a hard time breathing. They're fanning him down in the corner. Very interesting situation happening in the blue corner right now for one by Martinez. As we head into, this is what you call the championship rounds, right? Even though this isn't a championship, these are what you call the championship rounds.
It's all on the line here in this final round between Popeye Martinez and Ori Cox. I think what a lot of people at home might not know is you have a little bit of a fighting background as well.
I do. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Yeah. You know what? You're a constant student of this great sport and of martial arts in general. You know, if I could recommend anything to anyone, put your kids into martial art. You know, it teaches so many things. Discipline, mentally, physically. You learn something about yourself every single time you do it. And it was the hardest thing that I've ever done. Fighting is the hardest thing that I've ever done as an athlete. Just because, you know, you can play team sports and you can do singular sports and tennis and whatever the case may be, but, you know, at the end of the day, you do your 6-8 week camp, you diet, you do everything you can the right way, you get up in there and you have all the support of your family, friends, your coaches, but it's still just you. You still got to make it happen. Cox taking some big punches here.
Here comes Popeye looking to make a charge here. I'll tell you, Popeye, unless Popeye performs a miracle here, this fight looks to be in the bag for Ori Cox, so I think desperation has kicked in.
They're both fighting pretty desperately right now. Look, they're fighting as if they both have no idea who's winning this fight, which we've seen 2 draws already. Just trading back and forth.
You don't want to leave it in the judge's hands, and you got to put it in your own. Completely missed on that uppercut. One more chant of Ori. Soaking through the Chocolate Center. We call that the Chocolate Center a lot here in these parts.
Ooh, a big right hand.
You can see both fighters, especially Popeye Martinez, just absolutely exhausted right now. Less than 10 seconds remaining in the bout. Well, he certainly made the Dark Knight proud. Ori Cox, an incredible performance tonight.
That was a very, very good fight. Back and forth. Unbelievable. Just a ton of heart shown by both fighters. You know, on the same wavelength of what we were discussing before, too. It's different than any other sport in which, you know, you could have sparring partners and, you know, you can train, like we mentioned, for 6-8 weeks leading up to a fight, but nothing is ever going to emulate what it's going to be like once you're actually in there. And that's the thing. It's just so unpredictable.
Obviously, after every bout, fighters go back, look at the tape, take away positives, negatives. See a whole lot of negatives from the corner of Ori Cox tonight. He had a very complete fight. Loved what I saw from the Ontario native.
Both fighters really, really performed well. I mean, you could tell there was something hampering Martinez during that fight as he would go back winded and need a lot of help in the corners in between rounds. But Ori put the pressure on early. He put the pressure on late, got pretty winded in that 6th and final round and took a little bit of extra punishment.
We're waiting for the official decision.
Are we going to have 3 draws tonight, Kyle? Is that what's going to happen?
We could. It's a definite possibility with the way that tilt went. in the 154-pound super welterweight division. The decision is in. Let's send it over now to Patrick Lono.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges score about 58, 55, 57, 56, and 57, 56 for the winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated, Ori Cox.
Give it to the rock star. Ari Cox stays undefeated, improving to 5-0 on his professional boxing career. Still very happy with his performance. So obviously, Popeye Martinez, one of the best tilts of the night, Michelle.
Yeah, absolutely. It was awesome. Back and forth. Ori, you know, improving his defense as the kind of rounds progressed.
As we'll get another look at the handiwork of both men.
That's a knockdown from the first round that
off that initial left.
Yeah.
And we're going to come right back after the break. Again, the back half of our super welterweight division. Cody Crowley out of Peterborough, Ontario, taking on Marcelo Bazowski. Welcome back to Championship Boxing on Rogers TV. Those are your two men that are in our co-main event of the evening. On the left, that is Marcelo Bazowski out of Argentina. On the right, it is Cody Crowley, residing from Peterborough, Ontario, now down south, training full-time in the U.S. Michelle, this guy is looking to have an impactful night tonight, really looking to showcase all that experience that he's got now from south of the border.
Absolutely, and this is the first time we're going to be seeing here at the Center. Just the second time he's fought in Canada. And this is going to be a really, really intriguing fight, as these two are both southpaw fighters. But with Bazowski, you don't know if he has knockout power. He's 8-2-1 unanimous decision. He's on a 7-fight win streak, however, before his last loss, which was his most recent fight. So this young man has some anger they want to get out.
Now coming to the ring, Cody Crowley.
Here comes Cody Crowley. Ton of confidence coming into this bout. Rocking an 8-0 professional boxing record with 4 wins coming via the knockout.
Well, we have the 3 final bouts of the night are 3 super welterweight fights, and they feature 3 undefeated fighters. We saw Ari Cox maintain his perfect record, now 5-0-0. We've got Cody Crowley at a perfect 8-0-0, and of course, coming up next would be Ryan Young, rocking a 9-0-0 record. So, Canadian Super Welterweight division definitely stacked in that regard.
Let's send it over to Patrick Lono for the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pressler Law Firm 401 Dixie Hyundai and Cambridge Hyundai proudly present the co-main event of the evening, 8 rounds in the Super Welterweight division. Your judges for this bout are Mr. Jeremy Hayes, Mr. Harry Davis, and Mr. Alan Davis. Your referee is Mr. Donovan Boucher. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the colors of his native Argentina. His professional record, 8 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. From Buenos Aires, Argentina, weighing in at 149.7 pounds, Marcelo Vildense Boski. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing red and white. He is undefeated as a professional. 8 wins, no losses, 4 wins coming by way of knockout. From Peterborough, Ontario, but now fighting out of the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. He weighed in today at 152 pounds. Cody, the Crippler Crowley.
Gentlemen. Okay, gentlemen, I want a good, clean fight. I want you to protect yourself at all time. Listen to my command at all time. Touch gloves, good luck to both of you.
Donovan Boucher, your official for this contest in the Super Welterweight division. Cody Crowley on your left, on the right, Marcelo Bouski.
Apologies for butchering his name earlier in the show, but you never know.
Not a familiar name in this building. And here we go, off to a fiery start. Both fighters, the Crippler and the red trunks. The Argentinian in his native Argentina colors. This is our co-main event of the evening. Oh, wobbly right off the bat there. And yes, as you heard, Crowley residing now out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Both southpaws, both with very long arms, actually, for this weight class, too. Crowley, though, definitely commanding the center of the ring.
First of an 8-round bout here tonight. And a quick break up there from Boucher. Right, left, right.
For both fighters, this is their third fight of 2016. Bouts, though, having a really hectic 2015, 7 fights in 2015.
Crawley last fought May 14th at the Maryland State Fairgrounds against Corey McCanns in a unanimous decision win. This is Crowley's second professional fight in Canada. His first came in 2015. Beautiful Ajax, Ontario. Crawley with a 50% knockout percentage. So it's hit or miss tonight.
That's a huge right hand to the body.
Haven't seen a ton of crippling body shots tonight in any bout. No pun intended.
Shorts, right? No training, boxing, focusing full time. He's only 23 years of age, folks. In case you're wondering.
Well, if you're making the trip from Las Vegas, sorry, Michelle,
No,
you gotta
yeah.
look the part, no doubt.
Which he definitely does.
It's got that very Cirque du Soleil feel. We are ready to get this second round underway here. Championship Boxing back on Rogers TV here on this Saturday night. On a late September evening. Kyle Liberto, Michelle Storino bringing all the action to you tonight.
Crowley's got very good footwork. He's going in and out with ease, you know, which is giving him that advantage in why he's been able to command the ring as well, is because he's going in, taking his shots, getting out rather quickly without taking any damage. A lot of swinging and missing from Bouts.
Both fighters looking to take control here.
Well, and you know, you'll see that if this kind of keeps up in terms of, you know, Crowley being able to go in and out with ease and be able to, you know, kind of pitter-pat his opponent, get out without any damage, that causes a lot of frustration in your opponent. They're going to take those more loopy, wild, you know, hard punches, which we've seen already, you know, the lunging forward, and that's where you want to get them. You want to get them to that point.
In our previous bout, the Hershey Center faithful finding a way to get behind their man and Ari Cox. They're looking to get behind another man from just down the road in Peterborough. Cody Crawley.
It'd be nice to see, though, Crowley kind of follow up with what he's been able to do. So he's kind of toying with Bowski right now, and he's been able to do everything that he wants to do. Took one shot there. But majority of these first 2 rounds, he's been able to go in and out with ease. Pitter-pat a few shots here and there. They've mostly been jabs, but it would be good to see him follow up with, 5, 6 multiples in terms of combinations. Great head movement as well.
Exceptional head movement from both fighters. That'll do it. The second round here in our co-main event on Championship Boxing on Rogers TV. Get a look inside the huddles of both Crawley and Bowski. What are you telling the Peterborough native?
All I gotta say is that Crawley looks so relaxed. I feel like he's not even in a boxing match. He's not even laboring his breathing whatsoever. He's just chilling out, listening. Meanwhile, Bowski's feeling it a bit. He actually knows he's in a fight. Crawley doesn't even know he's in a fight. He's so relaxed. I mean, that's a skill in itself. I mean, half the time, trying to stay relaxed and loose is so hard too. I mean, that just obviously comes with experience in the ring as well.
You have to think that any fighter getting to this level of the game, they had to have been around the sport entire life. They've loved it, they've admired it from afar. There's just a passion for it that you see this ring tonight, and with all of our fights that we've seen here in the Hershey Center with United Promotions. We got to give some love to United. They certainly know how to put on an event. This is a very live atmosphere tonight inside the Chocolate Center. Michelle likes that. Michelle likes the Chocolate Center reference.
Both fighters being warned about shots to the back of the head. Bowski was also being warned about not to hold on to Crowley.
One of my favorite officials in the game, Don Maguchi, doesn't take any lip, any ball from anybody in the squared circle. Shots to Bowski. Slowly chop him down right now. Crawley.
He is so elusive. Bowski's pretty much... That's probably the only few shots that he's been landing. He's been... footwork, his head movement, changing of levels.
That's absolutely incredible. Just when you think Crowley's taking the foot off the gas, he just keeps coming again.
Yep.
The head movement, body movement, very sluggish right now from the Argentinian.
Well, he's swinging and missing a lot. And that gets super frustrating as well as tiring. And, we've already mentioned that he's been warned twice about, holding on as well. So, I mean, you could tell there's it's getting to him. He's not able to do anything right now. His offense is completely stifled, and anything that he is able to kind of generate, Crowley's, you know, pitter-patting it away, and it's not doing much, really. It's not landing.
Obviously, we give credit to every fighter coming into each bout here tonight, but look at Bowski and his game plan and where he is right now, conditioning-wise. Is he fully prepared for an 8-round bout?
He definitely looks fatigued right now, the more fatigued of the two, by far. And this is Crowley just showing that elusiveness we talked about, finishing off there with a couple small shots, and then that highlight finishing and, you know, the frustration and the holding on of Bowski. Every round so far I have in the books going 10-9 to Crowley.
You heard it here first. Michelle Storino giving 3 rounds to 0 for the local boy.
Here we go. The local, non-local boy.
Yes.
That's why he came out.
Exactly. Now he's coming out.
Yeah.
Prove the naysayers wrong here. We're now getting a let's go, Crowley. To come in and
I wouldn't be surprised if Crippler, so to speak, starts throwing a couple more uppercuts, just to maybe punish Bowski a little bit more for coming in low, kind of barreling in.
We've seen him work the body a lot to the way of Bowski. We see some more shots around that mouth area, yes.
You know, it's always intriguing to see, too, when fighters do get to that point of frustration or, you know, just seeing and knowing, you know, certain strategies aren't working and I gotta switch something up, to see how they do that, to see how they adapt in the ring. Some guys end up, you know, lunging forward and, you know, really trying to, you know, get inside the pocket, especially with, you know, fighters that do have the impeccable footwork, like we're seeing Crowley tonight. We're seeing more looping punches. We're seeing more kind of diving forward. We're also seeing, you know, Bowski rather, barreling forward at times too. We saw a Boki switch stances. You know, there's so many different ways. You know, you throw feints here and there. There's so many ways in which you can adjust to the situation if it's not going in your favor. But the thing is, it's being able to, I guess you could say, properly identify what the issue is per se and how to address it from there on out.
Getting a good look at the corner right now of Marcello Bowski. Off your screen, Hugo Casanovis. He's come back to earth and in the corner supporting Bowski in his co-main event bout tonight. You know, when you're up here in foreign territory in Canada, Mississauga, that you really got to rally together. You know, as a couple of Argentinians, been in the fight game for so long, being in the grind, probably training together at some point as well. You really got to support your fellow countrymen. I'll tell you, I'm very surprised he's out there. He took some big blows from the Oshawa native, Abakan Bakpi. For everybody waiting for our main event of the evening, keep it locked here on Rogers TV. It is coming up next. It is for the Canadian title, an 8-round belt in the super welterweight division. It is Ryan Young taking on the Oakville native, Ryan Wagner.
Now we're starting to hear Crowley's corner pipe up a little bit more. We're getting into the latter rounds of this fight. They want to see him do more. He is controlling this fight, no doubt about it, throughout the first 4 rounds, but they do want to see him follow up on these punches that he's got going. He is taking control, so why not take full control and possibly end it, right? That's another thing too, that, you know, sometimes, you know, fighters do get complacent or comfortable, so to speak, and they're okay with, you know, cruising to victory, so to speak, right? That's where that cliche comes from. You know, knowing that you are doing, you know, or executing your game plan to a T, and you're frustrating your opponent, but at the same time, you're still keeping him in it because the fight isn't over yet, right?
Good combinations here from the Crippler. Pockets in direction of Crawley. Little up, jab, overhand left. Devastating blow to the Argentinian.
And we know Crowley has the power. I mean, you don't get the nickname Crippler for nothing, I guess, right? Half of his wins have been by knockout. So we know he definitely has the power to end this one.
Less than 10 seconds remaining in the round. Maybe a little bit of a lull round there. So we've seen a lot of excitement from the Crippler specifically. That round we didn't see a whole lot.
No, still good ringmanship, still fantastic footwork. That's one thing too that we're seeing a lot of, and he's very aware. That's one thing that, another thing that really impresses me about Crowley is that his eyes always open, always looking and seeing where all the punches are coming from, seeing those openings, and it sounds obvious to see where it's coming from, but it's literally you get knocked out with the punch you don't see. And that also sounds so literal, but it's the truth. It's the honest to goodness truth. You have to have your eyes open and just think about your natural reaction as a human being. If, you know, a punch is coming your way or there's no danger in your direction, you probably flinch, you probably close your eyes, and you turtle up. I mean, these guys are doing the exact opposite. Yeah, okay, they're covering in terms of blocking on defense, but no, your eyes have to be open. You have to be aware, and that's where the thinking comes in. Okay, what is he leaving open for me? What are his tendencies? What is he doing over and over again? How can I capitalize on it?
Boxing is very similar to baseball, basketball, hockey. It's all about tendencies and really looking at a game plan and sticking to that game plan. And you'll have a couple of curveballs here and there, but for the most part, if you can stick to what you preached in training camp all night long, all fight long, 9 times out of 10, I believe you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
As we pick up the the action here. This is round 6 of an 8-round bout in the super welterweight division.
Bowski now as well, you know, even just kind of laying a little bit on Crowley, trying to slow him down per se, trying to make this an ugly fight, because Crowley fights very pretty. It's a pretty fight, you know, goes in and out, his footwork, his head movement, you know. You come in, oh, that was a big body shot there. He got him with a big body shot. This is where the uppercuts are going to come in, right here. He's barreling in, trying to weigh down Crowley a little bit, put his body weight all over him, make this an ugly boxing match. This is where you're going to get some uppercuts hopefully coming in here. Maybe some dangerous situations if you're Bowski.
Generated at all in this bout from the Argentinian. That's it for round 6. It is in the books. Bowski's got a lot of work to do here. Take a look at a big shot here.
That didn't even sting.
That's what you gotta call that, a big shot.
I barely grazed Crowley, but I mean that just goes to show you like how dominant he's been in this fight right now. He's on cruise control, so to speak. He doesn't even look winded in the corner. I mean, it's a testament to everything. His conditioning, his footwork. I mean, another thing that, you know, if you're first time, if you're enjoying boxing for the first time or wondering whether or not, you know, if it's for you and if you should take it up, in terms of fitness, it's incredible for cardio. People don't realize that, okay, boxing isn't about your arms and your upper body. It's about your legs. It's all about legs. And I think that's a really big misconception.
Yeah, the one thing that I certainly would say about this sport, if you are watching it for the first time, if you think that anybody can really succeed in this sport, you are underestimating it. Do not underestimate the sport of boxing. It is an incredible discipline that you need to really, I think, be incredibly set on mind and just really be dedicated to the sport. I think if you're dedicated to the sport, if you're willing to learn, then I think you will succeed. But these young men have been around it for so long, and they've just mastered their craft extremely well.
Well, and think about what it's like for the learning process. The learning process is you're taking your licks. You're sparring round after round, and you're learning the hard way, literally. You know,
that tumbling away there. What's Bowski? Took a hard body shot there from the crippler.
We'd like to see more of a flurry here. Here we go. That's where the uppercut's going to come in handy.
Dirty boxing there.
Really, he's just crouching as low as he can to protect himself in his midsection at this point because his body has taken a beating, especially over the last few rounds. He's gotten his warnings.
That's another thing about boxing. It's not a backyard brawl. It's not about just going for the dome. It's about executing body shots and incredible footwork as we've seen all evening long here from the crippler. Again, it is truly a discipline. It's about really faceting all areas of your game.
So this is the thing too that is, you know, very impressive about Crowley, okay? When you're a young fighter in general, he's only 23 years of age. Obviously, he's got a ton of experience. He's already professionally. I currently don't know offhand how many amateur fights he has underneath his belt, but obviously this young man has experience or wise beyond his years in terms of boxing because he's not a headhunter. And that's usually what happens when you're new to the game or you have ego or whatever the case may be, or maybe you're not a very good listener. You're a headhunter. This young man has been opening up the head by using some incredible body shots and literally crippling his opponents with those body shots, which is forcing, you know, Bowski to stay in that low kind of stance because that's the only thing he's got going for him. He needs to just protect those wrists at this point.
Well, there's no doubt about it in this final round here. There's nothing really left to do right now for Bowski is to finish the darn fight. Because I don't think he's got anything left in the tank to put it away here in this 8th and final round. Crawley looks too well conditioned. He looks like he's about to enter his 2nd round of the bout.
He's not even breathing heavy. This is insane. This young man has definitely impressed. The only thing that would finish this impressive debut here at the Hershey Center would be a finish.
Having to shut out a lot of direction to both fighters in this contest. The end looks to be near here. The crippler looking to put it away here in this final round. And here come those uppercuts that you were talking about earlier in the bout, Michelle.
It's a beautiful thing. I mean, attacking the body to, you know, I guess you could say cripple, crouch your opponent lower, and then you're setting him up for hopefully what could be a knockout blow with the uppercuts by propping him back up with the uppercuts, right? So all he can do is protect his body and, you know, be as low as possible at this point.
Time has been called by Donovan Boucher. As we're going to have a member of the medical team take a look at Bowski, seeing if he can continue here with the gash that he has above his right eye.
Bowski's claiming it's from an elbow, however, in those tight exchanges that we were just talking about.
The Hershey Center faithful. Waiting for the final word here. Good to go. We're ready to go. Let's get this final minute of round number 8 and of this contest going. I don't know how much more punishment Bowski can take. It's going to be a long plane trip back to Argentina.
A painful one, I guess.
A little bit.
A throbbing one, right? All those bruises and everything.
"30 seconds remaining. Crippler gonna leave the ring to an astounding ovation. It was a great night for the Peterborough, Ontario native. This fight is certainly in the bag. Give the win to Cody Crawley. We will wait for the official decision, but it was all Crawley all the time tonight.
Yeah, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, Kyle. But here's just a little bit of the action from that 8-round bout in which he controlled every single round of it. I mean, the ringsmanship that he had, he always controlled the ring. His footwork was phenomenal, in and out, never really taking any punishment and never looking tired as well. Picking his spots. You know, you would have liked to see him follow up on it a little bit more, but he obviously did a ton of damage to the body of Bowski, which allowed him to, you know, cash in on those uppercuts later on in the bout, in the 7th and 8th rounds, and then causing that cut in the final round.
See a little bit of maintenance done there to the
Look at him, he doesn't even look tired. This is ridiculous.
Looks like he just finished the run in Central Park.
I don't know. He doesn't look winded. I mean, he's glistening. He's not sweating. Phenomenal stuff, and I mean, hard work pays off, folks. You know, he now has committed himself 24/7, 7 days a week to this beautiful sport, this beautiful science we call boxing, and you can tell it has completely paid off out there in Viva Las Vegas.
Well, let's not wait any longer. Let's send it over to Patrick Lono for the official decision.
The judges' scorecards. The judges score the bout 80, 72, 78, 74, and 79, 73 for the winner by unanimous decision and still undefeated, Cody Crawley.
Give the win via unanimous decision to Cody Crawley in our co-main event of the evening. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's shift now to our main event. It has been over a year since we have seen Ryan Young in the squared circle, but he makes his return tonight inside of the Hershey Center. The Canadian title on the line. It's Ryan Wagner against the high-flying Ryan Young.
It's a different sport than, say, hockey or football, where there's amateur rankings, and then you go into, you can get drafted, and then from drafting they try to develop you into your team and your systems and those kind of things, and then they make you a part of the team and they make you professional, where really all I have is my coach and my teammates around here that have got me to be a pro, and we'll kind of take it as we go. Funding is always an issue, especially in Canada for boxers. You know, I work full-time at my own company and work full-time, so I train, work, and then train again every day. And it takes a toll on your body, so if we're trying to line ourselves up to be able to have this as an everyday career where this is the reason I'm making money, but you got to cross all your T's and dot your I's before that happens. That's what we're in the process of doing. The Canadian title is important to me because I'm Canadian. I'm Canadian. I've held extremely highly of all cultures and races, but being Canadian is something I'm very proud of. So fighting for a Canadian title is huge for me. But in terms of boxing, I guess notoriety, it's not really that big. You're looking at more like an NABA or an NABF or something like that would be a bigger title to be able to get me into the world rankings, but don't get greedy. We'll start here and we'll move up from here. So. For weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of training after that point, we're already ready. Just, you know, pure excitement. Time's over. We're fighting later on tonight. I'm excited to get on.
Good luck there at the Oakville, Ontario native Ryan Young, and that is Ryan Wagner out of Orangeville, Ontario. It is time for our main event of the evening. Let's throw it over to Patrick Lono.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ryan Wagner.
Comes the man that's looking to spoil the party here inside of the Chocolate Center, Ryan Wagner. He is certainly your David Goliath here tonight, taking on a young man in Ryan Young that has so much power, not just in the right, but in the left as well. Versatility. Is looking to get his 7th win, his biggest win of his professional career.
Absolutely, he's looking to do it for the first time here in this squared circle since June of 2011, and that was a TKO loss to Jeremy Abbott, so you gotta know that he's hungry to be successful on so many fronts.
And now introducing Ryan Young.
Here comes the man that everybody in the building has been waiting for. Ryan Young making his way into the Hershey Center here tonight. Ryan Young 9-0. Looking for double-digit wins on his professional career. 7 of those 9 wins coming via the knockout. Michelle, it's scheduled for 8 rounds, but if you ask Ryan Young, it's getting nowhere near that.
Seriously, both of these guys, it doesn't look like it at all. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I'm trembling.
We'll send it back over to Patrick Lono for the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bresler Law Firm proudly presents the main event of the evening. Live from the Hershey Center in Mississauga, Ontario. It's bright lights, it's the big city, it's the big fight. 8 rounds of boxing for the Canadian Super Welterweight Championship. This bout sanctioned by the Ontario Athletic Commission under the supervision of Mr. Ken Hayashi. Your judges for this bout are Mr. Jeremy Hayes, Mr. Harry Davis, and Mr. Alan Davis. When the bell sounds, a third man in the ring, your referee, Mr. Mark Simmons. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he is wearing gold trimmed with black and has earned the nickname the Zero Taker. His professional record, 6 wins, 3 defeats, 3 wins coming by way of knockout. From Orangeville, Ontario, weighing 153 pounds, Ryan Nightmare Wagner! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trimmed with silver, he is looking to earn his first championship milestone tonight. He comes to the ring undefeated as a professional. 9 wins, no defeats, 7 wins coming by way of knockout. From Oakville, Ontario, weighing 153 and 1/2 pounds, Ryan Young.
Boxers. Mr. Wagner, Mr. Young, we went over the instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. When I say break or stop, you step back, protect yourself at all times, and stop punching. Touch gloves, good luck. Wait.
He's been given the name the Zero Taker. Ryan Nightmare Wagner taking on a man in Ryan Young, by far the biggest bout in his young 29 years of age professional career. Here we go. Jockeying for position early on. Last time we saw Ryan Young in action was in 2015. A TKO here at the Hershey Center, the Christian Santa.
Young's coming off a hand injury, which we were supposed to see him on the last card here at United Promotions at the Hershey Center back in May. So it's him, Brandon Cook, both suffering hand injuries, and it's, you know, that's a pretty important injury to overcome when you're a boxer. And, you know, Young also having his own business, a renovation company, he does drywalling and everything, so that affected his personal life as well in terms of, you know, trying to make ends meet.
Speaking of Brendan Cook, Mr. Cook at ringside, shouting out a little direction. He seems a little invested in this bout here tonight. Eyes like a hawk on both Young and Wagner.
Taking that interest because he sparred numerous times with Ryan Young, the undefeated Ryan Young as well. The crowd is definitely loud for both of these Ryans, the battle of the Ryans.
Both waiting to lay that big blow here in our main event of the evening. Bouncing around Ryan Young. Boom! Big right hook from the Oakville native. Crowd getting a little rowdy here for our main event tonight. Couple of straight right hands from Young here. Great way to end the first round. A devastating shot there to the Nightmare.
Definitely a feeling out process happening here. You know, both guys kind of seeing tendencies, seeing where the openings essentially could be. You know, one thing from Young that we've seen time and time again, because, you know, he has been a staple here at the Hershey Center for United Promotions, is his impeccable footwork and head movement. You know, we just saw 8 rounds of it from Crawley. We're going to see some more of it here from Young.
I can only imagine how difficult it is getting direction when you're sitting in your corner. So much adrenaline pumping through your body, especially with it all on the line here tonight. The Canadian title on the line here in the super welterweight division. 2 of potentially 8 rounds.
Wagner, however, also coming off, you know, a win in his last fight, a TKO victory in December of 2015. So he's had quite a long layoff as well. You know, that's a pretty long time. Anytime you're looking at more than 3 or 4 months for a fighter is a long time when you're in these ranks.
Big shot there from Young. Dynamite coming out here early and often in this second round. Big blow there to the body of Wagner. It's body shots galore here tonight.
Both of these guys definitely hit hard with bad intentions. We mentioned earlier in the card just the kind of, I guess you could say, trash talking back and forth between the two of them at the weigh-ins. You know, obviously no love lost whatsoever in terms of these two. Young so elusive with that head movement.
Also a missed left swing there from Ryan Young. Physical bout here. Less than 2 rounds in. Big shot there from the Nightmare. devastating havoc happening here inside of the ring. Ryan Young looking to get right back at it.
It happened right at the end of the round, so Wagner definitely saved by the bell. Another cliche coming to light. Now you know where they're all coming from, Kyle. And that's exactly how that one is coming about. A massive, massive shot by Ryan Young. A short right hand over the top. And those are the ones that, you know, remember how I said earlier, well, it seems so easy, where it's the shots you don't see that get you. The shots you don't see that get you short, over the top, right hand.
Ha ha, bombs getting laid left, right, and center. It started with that big answer from the Nightmare. But then what a way to end that round from Ryan Young. Here we go. Big collision there, Young.
The exact same punch. Short, over the hand, right. RG is who's in the corner for Young, telling him to do the exact same thing.
Look at that big hook there from Young. Another one. A second. Give him a third. Why not? Putting a beating on Wagner. It is all over. Ryan Young, your new super welterweight Canadian champion, as the Hershey Center erupts. It has been a long time coming for Ryan Young. The undefeated streak continues. 10-0 for the Oakville, Ontario native. What an incredible performance from the 29-year-old veteran. I am absolutely speechless, Michelle. Another incredible performance, and again we continue to see the maturity of Ryan Young. Ryan Young, you know, yelling some strap me up here.
we don't see this much emotion from Ryan Young on a regular basis. So this is just catching me all sorts of off guard.
You can't forget about the human element in this sport. You really got a feel for this young man. He has worked so hard to get to where he is right now. Yelling, strap me up. He cannot wait for that gold to hit the waist. My goodness, an incredible moment here inside of the Hershey Center. We will get the official decision now from Patrick Lono, but give the Canadian Championship in the super welterweight division to Ryan Young.
Fight is stopped at 43 seconds of round number 3. Your winner by TKO, and now the Canadian Super Welterweight Champion, Ryan Young.
throw it to Michelle Storino now with the champion, Ryan Young, after his lengthy celebration, and for good reason.
A very emotional, obviously, Ryan Young, yes.
I love talking to you after a nice win.
Well, Canadian Super Welterweight title. You're the champ. How does that feel?
It feels nice for all the hard work to be rewarded, and for the fans that come out and support me every single time. It means the world to me. I can't thank you guys enough. This is for you guys.
It's been a long road back as well, coming off that hand injury. Just talk a little bit about the process and getting here tonight.
Yeah, with the hand injury, as everybody knows, when you can't do something you love to do because of an injury, it plays a toll on you mentally and physically, but you know, perseverance is what makes champions, and that's what I did today, so.
Absolutely, you did a perfect 10-0-0, 8 knockouts. I mean, the sky's the limit for you, and this incredible crowd obviously backing you every step of the way as well.
Yeah, again, I can't thank the crowd enough. I can't thank all my fans and supporters enough. You guys mean the world to me. My family for putting up with me, my girlfriend, my coaches, every person that's a part of this. I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you very much.
Congratulations once again, Ryan. Everyone, your new Canadian Super Welterweight champion, Ryan Young.
And once again, your Canadian champion in the Super Welterweight division, Ryan Young. But it was all Ryan Young all the time. And with that, he is taking home the hardware tonight. That is going to do it for us for Patrick Lono, United Boxing. Michelle Storino, Kyle Alberto, we will see you next time on Rogers TV. Have a great night, everybody.